Good and evil, evil and good, and it seems that these things can be very subjective. Because depending on who you ask, at what point in their life, how even depending on the time of the day, to them something could be good at one point, and then at another point, it could be evil. And is it is one necessarily right or wrong? I don't know. I used to be very caught up on, trying to make sure I'm a good person. Trying to make sure I'm a good person. And, it is good intention for sure. But I've come to realize how, just like anything in life, there's the duality. I said light, dark, good, evil, yin, yang, on, off. And they coexist. You need one in order to have the other. In order for you to know that there's good, you must know that there's evil. In order for you to, the cliche, there has to be rainy days for you to enjoy the sunny ones. I've tried to place less importance on the labeling of good and bad, and more or less just taking things for what they are. For sure, are there things that make me feel like crap and bad? Yeah, and to the same degree on the other end. But again, I try to take things for what they are. Excuse me. If something feels good or is good or trying to do good, we'll take it for what it is. However, when it's gone, it's gone. And again, to the same degree, with something that makes me feel bad or that I don't like, whatever. It could be a workout, it could be a rough conversation, or just something shitty happens. Again, take it for what it is, but I also know it will not last that way forever. And the more I try to stay aware of this, and the more I try to keep this in mind, I found it that less things move me. In the sense of when something good happens, it's not like I'm trying to chase that high the rest of the day or whatever time frame. And again, to now when something bad happens, I'm not going to let that low affect me for the rest of the day either. Or I try not to. I know I'm not perfect, and when you're riding that high or you're in that low, both emotions are addicting, and both ends of the spectrum are addicting. And that's so interesting to me, because I've noticed at times where I'm mad or angry, I know in my head I know in my head I'm angry, and I know in my head it's best for me not to be angry or upset or mad. But there's a part of me that likes it, right? And there's a part of me that is attached to it in a sense. And maybe that's a better word for it. And I've actually read in a book, but we are addicted to our emotions, and it's just, I don't know if we always realize, because I do not, and I have not previously, that even to the shitty emotions, the emotions we do not want to feel, we are addicted to those as well. The whatever you may call it, right? Feeling sad, feeling angry. When I'm sad, I notice my default too is to listen to like sad music to keep me sad, right? Like how does that make sense, especially when spoken aloud? But I just think that's important to keep note of. And again, once at least I've been able to be aware of these feelings coming and also letting them go, it has kept me more emotionally stable and emotionally grounded. The longer and the more time I spend in a place that I view as like just, again, like emotional groundness, emotional stability, the more time I can spend in that, I feel like the more I come to learn about myself, and then as a result others. When I try to be as present as possible and as emotionally uninfluenced as possible, I try to reflect on my decisions that I've made on the day in the past, and decisions that I'm looking to make in the future. Before, it would be to just critique myself sometimes, and just be hard on myself. But now I do it in the sense of seeing where my emotional state is during those decisions, and the why as to like why I do what I do. And it can be as simple as, why do I wake up at a certain time, to something very deep as, why am I making these videos, or why do I have the goals that I have? And for me, being able to do that has almost helped me, at least I believe, save time. And what I mean by that is realizing what decisions are heavily emotionally based, and it's helped me no longer want some of the things that I wanted. It's helped relieve myself of some desires, and as a result of no longer having certain goals, there's certain things that I'm no longer putting time and energy into. and as a result, I feel like for me the path to my purpose, and and what I feel like I'm supposed to do in my life, uh, just becomes a little bit more clear. My internal compass, so to say, gets a little bit sharper. It's a little bit more tuned. I'm trying to make this exit. And some of the best improvements in my life, and um, I guess you could say biggest realizations, have been as a result of tuning this internal compass. The me, the the decision maker, the self. I I wish there was some type of almost guide for how to go through life. Yes, maybe, I guess that's what religion's supposed to be. And some people do find themselves through that. But more in the sense of kind of everyday decisions, and in the way um, almost like a, a way, I don't know the way to describe it, but just something that, at least for me, would have been definitely useful for when I was younger, as what am I supposed to do when I'm dealing with something that's making me feel a certain type of way, or I just in general feel a certain type of way, and I want to change that. It is very specific almost to the individual, but a part of me believe that it can be pretty generalized as well. Uh, maybe that's what these videos can be, at least if I were to go back and look at them for myself, is like, yeah, I feel this way. I don't like this about my life right now. There's this that I want to change. How do I start? You know, um, because that was something that took me a long time to actually understand, was that I have control of my life, and not only do I have control of my life, but I have the power to change anything I may not like about it. Not saying it is going to be easy. Not saying that in one day things will change. No. But realizing that if I'm willing to pay the price, time, energy, money, and I essentially do what needs to be done, I can already consider it done. And I don't know if everyone realizes that. I know some people do. Um, and I know some people, if they hear it, they're like, yeah, I know I can do whatever I want. But I don't know if they believe it. I think that's one of the things that I think that's one of the things that sometimes can, I don't want to say put people off the wrong way, but I may come off a little bit crazy sometimes. And that's just because I have the belief that, yeah, I can do whatever I want. And I may not get it the first time, but if I really want it bad enough and, and I have the time to do it, I'm going to get it done. And I do not think I'm anybody special. I do not think I'm no different than anybody else. But I think we all have the ability to do that. And it is up to us. I should say it's up to yourself to get yourself to that point. It's like nobody's going to come save me. Nobody's going to come take care of things for me. I had to do these things for myself, and if I was not good enough or I could not get something done, one, either just get better to do what I need to do, or seek out the help to get done what you need to get done, and do whatever you may need to do to get the help.